What if that soul staring back at you from your dog's eyes actually chose you? Not in a shelter, not from a breeder, but from a place beyond time, for a mission that defines your entire life. This is not another cute pet story. This is the unveiling of a profound spiritual truth, a truth that will forever change how you see the furry guardian sleeping at the foot of your bed. And the key to unlocking it came from Edgar Cayce, an ordinary man who could access impossible knowledge in his sleep. Every single dog, Cayce declared in a now famous session, has an exact purpose in its human's life. They are spiritual protectors wearing a disguise of fur and loyalty. That tail wag when you get home, it's not just a conditioned response. It is the affirmation of a sacred pact. They register your emotions before your own brain does. This connection, Cayce revealed, isn't chemical, it's a high-frequency energetic bond. Cayce had already proven his extraordinary abilities, accessing past lives, foretelling the future, and prescribing impossible medical cures. But this revelation about dogs struck a different chord. It spoke to a truth millions feel in their hearts, but could never articulate. Have you ever really questioned why your dog appeared in your life at that exact moment? Why, out of all the pets in the world, you found each other? Why it has that specific personality, those particular habits, those funny little quirks? Edgar Cayce's discovery was that there are no accidents in this sacred relationship. There is only a perfectly designed spiritual mission, camouflaged as unconditional love. Now, more than 80 years after he first spoke of it, we are finally ready to understand this mystery. Prepare to learn the real story of your dog. Prepare to understand the true reason they are with you. Stop what you're doing for a second. Think about how you met. Perhaps you walked into an animal shelter just to look and walked out with your destiny on a leash. Maybe a lost, wandering soul showed up on your porch. Or perhaps you fought the idea of getting a pet for years until an overwhelming feeling you couldn't explain made you give in. Do you truly think any of that was by chance? Edgar Cayce uncovered a reality that will shatter your perception of that first meeting. You and your dog had a bond long before you ever met in this physical world. You share a link that stretches beyond time, beyond space, and even beyond death itself. In the spiritual realm, before we choose to be born, we form agreements with other souls. We blueprint the roles we'll play for each other on earth. These soul contracts involve our family, our partners, our friends, and, yes, our animal companions. But before we explore the astonishing details of these canine contracts, it's crucial to understand the man who brought this knowledge to us. Edgar Cayce was no showman chasing celebrity or wealth. He was a humble man who stumbled upon a phenomenal gift and dedicated his life to using it to help humanity grasp a larger spiritual reality. Born on a farm in Kentucky in 1877, Cayce was a young photographer when his gift surfaced. At 21, a severe case of laryngitis stole his voice. Doctors gave him no hope of speaking normally again. Then, the unbelievable occurred. Under hypnosis meant to treat him, Cayce fell into a profound trance. In this state, he didn't just diagnose his own ailment with stunning medical precision. He prescribed a specific treatment that healed him completely. His voice was fully restored. The true shock, however, was realizing that in this sleeping state, Edgar Cayce could access information about anyone, anywhere. All he needed was a name and address to give flawless medical diagnosis, predict future events, and reveal detailed past life histories. For 3 years, Cayce gave over 14,000 documented readings. Respected physicians confirmed the accuracy of his medical insights. People he never met confirmed the exactness of his predictions. Scientists analyzed his methods and were left baffled. He earned the name, the Sleeping Prophet, because this extraordinary knowledge was only accessible in his deep trance state. He himself had no memory of what was said. It was as if a higher wisdom was speaking through him, and it was this same higher wisdom that revealed the sacred secrets of our dogs. The information Cayce received about animals was consistent and clear. He explained how different species serve different spiritual functions on the planet. He detailed why some animals are drawn to specific people. He showed how our pets serve as living bridges between the material and spiritual worlds. But dogs, Case insisted, occupy a unique and sacred place in this spiritual structure. They are the only animals to have made a deliberate, conscious agreement with humankind, not a contract for survival or mere domestication, but a profound spiritual alliance. Dogs chose to walk the path of evolution alongside humans. Case stated in one of his most powerful sessions, they surrendered a portion of their wild nature to become our spiritual partners. This is a holy bond that carries over from one lifetime to the next. What makes Case's statements so astounding is that they were made long before modern science began to study animal consciousness, interspecies communication, or the emotional bonds between humans and animals. He was describing realities that science would only start to glimpse 50 years later. Case explained that dogs possess a much higher energetic sensitivity than we do. They can sense spiritual energies, see changes in a person's aura, and even sense future events through their psychic perception. A dog understands when its work with a person is done, said Case. They also know when their time has come to leave. This isn't a tragedy. It is the completion of a sacred mission. In his readings, Case repeatedly spoke of how dogs act as spiritual mirrors. If a person needs to learn about trust, they will receive a dog that teaches it through its unwavering loyalty. If they must learn patience, they are gifted a stubborn, challenging dog. If they are healing from emotional wounds, they receive a dog whose very presence is a soothing balm. The most incredible part is that Case delivered these truths with the same matter of fact certainty he used to diagnose diseases. To him, there was no line between healing a body and understanding a soul. It was all one, seamless, interconnected spiritual fabric. Today, over 80 years since his passing, Edgar Case's revelations about dogs are being validated by the daily experiences of millions of people. Dog owners share stories of telepathic bonds, moments of unexplainable protection, and personal transformations that echo the exact teachings left by the sleeping prophet. Case's credibility isn't just from his psychic feats, it's from the decades of verified accuracy of his information. When he discusses the spiritual mission of dogs, he is not offering a theory. He is relaying direct knowledge from a higher dimension of reality. And that knowledge is about to transform your relationship with your own dog forever. Stop for a moment and think again about that first encounter. Maybe you visited a shelter on a whim and left with a soulmate. Maybe a stray appeared on your doorstep as if guided by an invisible map. Or you resisted getting a dog for years until a sudden, powerful impulse changed your mind. Do you honestly believe that was chance? Edgar Case's teachings reveal a truth that rewrites that entire story. You and your dog recognized each other. Because this is not your first journey together. You are bound by a connection that defies time, space, and even the veil of death. In the spiritual planes, before we are born, we create agreements with other souls about the roles we will play. These soul contracts map out our families, friendships, loves, and yes, our pets. Canine souls select their human families before they are even conceived. Case explained this in a session that moved everyone present. They assess our spiritual requirements and come prepared to serve us in the precise way that we need. This means your dog is not just an animal you rescued. It is a soul that undertook a specific mission to aid in your spiritual growth. It knows your frailties, your hidden fears, your needs for emotional healing, and it arrived with the exact personality required to help you work through those issues. Consider your dog's character traits. If it is fiercely protective, it's likely you need to address your own issues of security and faith. If it's incredibly playful, perhaps your soul needs to rediscover joy and live in the moment. If it is calm and tranquil, it might be that your spirit is crying out for peace. But this connection runs deeper than just personality. Case revealed that many dogs are reincarnations of pets we have loved in previous lives. They come back to continue the sacred work that was started lifetimes ago. The recognition of a dog from a past life is immediate. Case said, There is an instant sense of belonging, a bond that needs no building because it has existed for ages. Have you felt that? The sensation that you've known your dog your entire life, not just for a few years. That is not a trick of your mind. It is your soul's memory waking up. The indicators of a past life bond are clear. Your dog might react to certain places like it remembers them. It might display fears or attachments that have no basis in its current life. It might possess skills or habits that feel innate, like memories carried over from another existence. Case also disclosed that in some cases, dogs are actually human souls who chose an animal incarnation to serve a specific person. These are the truly special ones. The dogs with an ancient wisdom in their eyes, who demonstrate profound compassion, and who at times act uncannily human. These souls undertake a massive sacrifice, Case explained. They willingly forego a human experience to serve as a spiritual guide. It is an act of selfless love we can barely comprehend. This explains why some dogs seem to grasp complex human emotions, why they show such sophisticated empathy, and why they often seem to be teaching us something vital through their behavior. The timing of their arrival is also never an accident. Your dog walks into your life at the precise moment you require them. It could be during a period of intense struggle, a time when you're poised for a major life change, or just before you face a challenge that will demand the unique support only they can provide. Edgar Case called this perfect synchronization part of the divine choreography of our lives. Nothing is random. Every meeting has a reason. Every bond has a purpose. Every relationship is a spiritual mission, and the mission of dogs is one of the most sacred. They arrive to teach us about pure love, about loyalty that never wavers, forgiveness that is absolute, and joy that is found only in the present. But they also come to be our energetic guardians, to help us heal ancient wounds, and to ready us for the next phase of our soul's journey. When you look at your dog now, you are not just seeing an animal. You are seeing a spiritual being that paused its own evolutionary journey to accelerate yours. You are seeing a courageous soul that agreed to stand with you through every triumph and every tear. Why does your dog sometimes seem to protect you from something you cannot see? Why does it become agitated in certain rooms? Why does it appear to sense danger or unseen presences long before you do? The answer is far more profound than mere animal instinct. They are spiritual guardians in a furry disguise. While humans have allowed our natural psychic sensitivity to atrophy over centuries, dogs have kept this faculty sharp. They can see, feel, and react to dimensions of reality that our rational minds have learned to ignore. And they use this perception to protect us in ways we can barely fathom. Dogs serve as spiritual watchmen, Case explained in a landmark session. They can sense negative energies, dense spiritual entities, and hostile presences approaching their human companions. This means that when your dog barks at an empty space in the room, it is not barking at nothing. It is sounding an alarm about something present in that space that your eyes cannot detect. A dog's ability to perceive beyond the physical veil is why they were held as sacred beings in so many ancient civilizations. But the protection they offer is not just an alarm system. They are living energetic shields, absorbing negative thoughts and energies directed at their humans and neutralizing this density within their own auric field. A dog can absorb up to 70% of the harmful energy aimed at its person, Case revealed. They do this intentionally as a core part of their spiritual duty. It is a service performed out of absolute love. This revelation is the key to understanding why some dogs develop illnesses that seem to mysteriously mirror their owner's own emotional or physical ailments. They are not just getting sick, they are literally taking on and processing toxic energies to shield their families. Case detailed 3 layers of spiritual protection offered by dogs. The energetic filter. Every dog establishes a protective field around its home and family. They can feel when someone with bad intentions is approaching long before that person rings the doorbell. This is why many dogs get agitated or start to bark when certain people draw near. Protection from unseen entities. Dogs can see and interact with spirits and entities from dimensions adjacent to ours. They act as a natural defense against negative spiritual forces that might try to influence their human families. Advanced psychic defense. Certain dogs, especially those with the deepest soul contracts with their owners, can intercept deliberate psychic attacks, curses, or negative intentions sent from others. They absorb these energetic attacks and neutralize them before they can affect their human. What makes this protective act so incredible is that it is entirely voluntary. Dogs are not compelled to serve in this role. They choose it out of love. It is a fulfillment of the sacred contract they signed before this life. Canine loyalty is not mere instinct. Case clarified. It is a spiritual vow. They make a promise to guard and serve, and they will honor that promise to their very last breath. This explains behaviors we often misunderstand as simple possessiveness or jealousy. When your dog has an aversion to a particular person, it is not being unfriendly. It is sensing something in that person's energy that it deems a threat to you. When it insists on sleeping on your bed, it is not just seeking comfort. It is extending its energetic protection over you during your most vulnerable state, sleep. While we sleep, our energy fields are more open and vulnerable to outside influence. Dogs are instinctively aware of this and heighten their protective duties during the night. It's why so many owners say their dogs become more watchful after dark, even when there is no obvious physical threat. Case also revealed that dogs can sense negative events before they happen. They feel the shifts in the energy field that precede accidents, illnesses, or major crises. This is why they sometimes exhibit bizarre behavior or seem to be warning us about something we cannot yet see. They perceive future probabilities in the currents of present energy. Case explained. An anxious dog may be trying to warn of an event that hasn't occurred, but which is already taking form in the energetic realm. This anticipatory ability is one of the most advanced forms of protection they provide. They don't just react to present dangers. They help us prepare for future ones. Now that you understand your dog is a spiritual guardian, it's time to learn the language of the signs they are sending you constantly. Every seemingly odd or random behavior has a much deeper meaning. Your dog is attempting to communicate with you about realities you are not equipped to perceive on your own. But first, I can't miss this opportunity to invite you to our Quantum Mind Challenge. It's designed for those who want to master their reality and deliberately create their desires. You'll get exercises for 21 days to rewire your brain, elevate your frequency, and unlock your true energetic power. If you feel called to join, just check the first pinned comment. Now, let's begin with the most common and misinterpreted behavior: barking at nothing. When your dog barks at a part of the room where nothing is visible, it is literally perceiving something you can't. Edgar Cayce taught that dogs can see spiritual presences, fields of residual energy, and even imprints left behind by powerful emotional events from the past. Every location holds energetic history, Cayce revealed. Dogs can read this history like we read a newspaper. They bark to warn us about energies that could be affecting us negatively. If your dog consistently barks at one specific spot, investigate it. A traumatic event may have happened there long ago. It might be an entry point for negative energy, or a spiritual presence may be trying to communicate. The sound of the bark is also a clue. Short, sharp barks often indicate a warning about a physical presence. Long, sonorous barks can signal negative spiritual energy. High-pitched, rapid barks are frequently alarms about imminent danger. Another profound mystical behavior is the refusal to enter certain rooms. If your dog consistently avoids a particular space or acts nervous in certain areas, it is sensing something you need to know. Dogs are walking energy detectors, Cayce stated. They instantly know when a room is heavy with negative energy or when there are unwelcome presences. If your dog refuses to go somewhere, trust its intuition. Perform an energetic cleansing of that space. Light some sage, place some salt in the corners, or simply say a prayer, asking for protection and light to purify the area. Have you ever caught your dog staring intently at something you can't see. It might hold perfectly still for minutes, its gaze locked on a single point with an intense focus, as if watching a movie. When this happens, your dog is most likely observing a spiritual being. It could be a spirit guide, a deceased loved one, or simply a pattern of energy moving through the room. The key is the dog's reaction. If it remains calm and curious, the presence is benevolent. If it appears tense or afraid, it might be something that requires clearing. Those moments when your dog approaches you for no reason and insists on being close also have a deep spiritual meaning. Case revealed that dogs can feel when our own energy is off balance or when we are being affected by negative thoughts. They move in to offer immediate protection. Their physical proximity reinforces our auric field, Case explained, and helps us deflect negative influences. The next time your dog is insistent on being near you, even when you haven't called it, pause and check in with yourself. Were you worrying? Feeling anxious? Thinking negative thoughts? Your dog sensed that you needed energetic backup. Overly protective behavior is another critical sign. If your dog suddenly starts acting as your shadow, sleeping outside your bedroom door, or becoming hyper, vigilant around others, it may be sensing that you are in a spiritually vulnerable state. This often occurs during periods of major change, high stress, or when we are making life-altering decisions. Our energy field becomes more porous, and dogs instinctively ramp up their protective detail. Let me know in the comments, what is the most unusual behavior your dog has ever shown? Let's decipher together what they might have been trying to tell you. Food can also be a spiritual barometer. Dogs that suddenly refuse to eat or have drastic changes in their appetite may be processing negative energy from their environment or their owners. They literally lose their appetite when they are engaged in heavy energetic work to protect their family. Case taught that when a dog refuses food for no clear medical reason, we should look at what is happening emotionally within the home. Is there conflict, stress, or dense energy that needs to be addressed? Sleep patterns are also revealing. A dog that is sleeping far more than usual may be processing large amounts of negative energy it has absorbed. During sleep, they work to transmute this energy and cleanse themselves. Conversely, a dog that is restless all night, that paces and can't settle down, may be detecting intense spiritual activity in the house. It is standing guard to protect the family during its most vulnerable hours. The most poignant behavior Case described is when a dog suddenly becomes overwhelmingly affectionate. It seeks more physical contact, wants to be closer than ever, and becomes more demonstrative in its love. They do this when they sense their mission with that person is drawing to a close. Case revealed it's as if they are aware their time together is limited and they want to make every remaining moment count. This knowledge gives us a beautiful duty to pay attention to the rich, silent language of our canine partners. And this communication is only the beginning. Edgar Case discovered that dogs don't just protect us, they serve as perfect reflections of our own souls. Every single habit, behavior, and issue your dog has is mirroring something specific about your inner spiritual world. Dogs are direct, living reflections of their human's internal state. Case revealed in a session that stunned his audience into silence. They display externally what we need to confront about ourselves, but are unable or unwilling to see. This means your dog is essentially a walking, a barking encyclopedia of your soul. Its strengths, its flaws, its fears, its needs for healing, all of it is being telegraphed through your dog's personality and actions. Let's start with an example that will change how you see everything. A dog with aggression issues rarely has a truly aggressive owner. In fact, it's often the opposite. The dog belongs to someone who represses their own anger. The dog is acting out the rage the human keeps bottled up. Is your dog excessively territorial or protective? Stop and ask yourself, in what area of my life do I feel my boundaries are being violated? Where do I need to be more assertive? Where am I failing to protect my own emotional energy? Case explained that dogs are equipped with the precise personality we need to show us our own blind spots. Let's look at the most common reflections. The anxious dog. If your dog is a ball of nerves, it's highly likely you battle with anxiety yourself, even if you hide it well. Anxious dogs show up for people who need to learn how to trust the flow of life, relax, and release their need for control. They compel us to cultivate patience and calm within ourselves. The fearful dog. A dog that is terrified of everything is a mirror for our own unacknowledged fears. They demonstrate how fear can hold us back and keep us from experiencing life fully. As we help our dog find its courage, we find our own. The stubborn dog. If you have a stubborn dog, it is reflecting your own inflexibility. These dogs appear for people who need to learn to be more adaptable and accepting. They teach the powerful lesson that we cannot control everything. The needy dog. A dog that demands constant validation is mirroring our own emotional insecurities. They show us how our own desire for approval can be suffocating. As we teach the dog to feel secure, we learn to provide that security for ourselves. The independent dog. Very aloof dogs often belong to people who have their own struggles with emotional intimacy. They are here to teach us the sacred balance between freedom and connection. But the most stunning mirror is how a dog's physical health reflects its owner's emotional state. Cases findings on this are extraordinary. Digestive problems. Dogs with chronic stomach issues often belong to people who cannot stomach or process situations in their own lives. They are absorbing and metabolizing the emotional energies their owners cannot. Skin issues. Dogs with rashes and skin problems may be reflecting their owner's own issues with self-worth and vulnerability. The skin is our boundary with the world. Skin problems in dogs often mirror their human's discomfort with being seen. Respiratory issues. A dog with breathing problems can reflect its owner's feeling of being smothered or lacking the freedom to breathe in their own life. It may signal a sense of oppression or constraint. Heart problems. Perhaps the most profound of all. Dogs that develop heart conditions often belong to people with wounded or closed-off hearts. They're literally taking on their owner's heartache. Dogs assume the illnesses of their humans as an act of spiritual service. Case taught. They would rather bear the physical suffering themselves than watch their companions suffer emotionally. This truth carries with it a solemn responsibility. When our dog gets sick, the first question we must ask is, what aspect of my own emotional or spiritual life is crying out for healing? In many cases, when we begin to heal ourselves, our dogs make miraculous recoveries, but the mirror effect is also positive, joyful. Confident dogs are a reflection of owners who are at peace with themselves. Loving, social dogs mirror humans who are open to giving and receiving love. Your dog's personality also points to your own untapped potential. If your dog is highly intuitive, it's likely you have dormant psychic gifts. If it's a natural protector, you may have a gift for healing and guiding others. Case taught that we can fast, track our own spiritual development by consciously studying the reflection our dogs provide. Instead of getting frustrated with their behavior, we should ask, what is this trying to teach me about me? When we begin to see our dogs as soul mirrors, the entire relationship elevates. We no longer see their behaviors as problems to be solved, but as lessons to be learned. Have you ever had the feeling that your dog was reading your mind? Communication between humans and dogs does not rely on spoken words. Case revealed. It occurs on the level of thought, waves, mental pictures, and direct transmissions of energy between two consciousnesses. Dogs are innate masters of telepathy because it is a skill they never forgot. While humanity developed complex verbal language and let our natural psychic abilities fade, dogs retain this pure, unfiltered form of communication. They don't just passively receive our thoughts and feelings, they are actively broadcasting information back to us. The problem is, most of us have forgotten how to tune into that silent broadcast. Let's start with a few examples you've surely lived. The thought of dinner brings the dog running. You're on the couch, you haven't moved, but you simply think about getting your dog's food. A moment later, they are in the kitchen, waiting expectantly. They didn't hear a sound. They received your mental broadcast. Shared sorrow. You are feeling immense sadness but are holding it in. Yet, your dog approaches you, rests its head on your lap, and offers comfort. It sensed your emotional state before you ever shed a tear. Knowing you're coming home, your dog becomes excited and sits by the door minutes before you arrive, even if you come home at a different time every day. It's not magic. It's picking up on your intention to return long before your car is in the driveway. Case explained that this communication flows through what he called a shared field of consciousness. When you forge a deep connection with a dog, you literally create a shared mental space where thoughts, emotions, and intentions can pass freely between you. It's not magic. It's a form of spiritual physics. Case revealed that consciousness vibrates at different frequencies. When two beings tune to the same frequency, telepathic communication becomes effortless. You can actively develop this ability. Here are the methods Case taught. Technique 1: Mental movies. Sit quietly near your dog. Close your eyes and create a clear, vivid mental movie of what you want to communicate. If you want it to come to you, vividly picture it walking over and sitting by your side. If you want it to be calm, see a movie of it resting peacefully. Hold that visual in your mind and project it, like sending a file directly to its consciousness. Don't force it, just send the image with calm, loving intent. Technique 2: Emotional broadcasting. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to our emotional states. You can send clear messages by generating a specific feeling within yourself. To ask for calm, you must first become a beacon of deep inner peace. To signal playtime, you must genuinely feel a sense of joy and excitement. The key is to truly embody the emotion. Dogs respond to what you feel, not what you are pretending to feel. Technique 3: The soul gaze. Look gently into your dog's eyes. This isn't an intimidating stare, but a soft, loving gaze full of clear purpose. As you maintain this connection, mentally project your message. Case discovered that this direct eye contact forges an immediate telepathic link. It is the reason a single look can be an entire conversation with your dog. Technique 4: Mental questions and observation. You can ask your dog questions in your mind and then observe its response through its body language, its energy, or its actions. Mentally ask, "Is everything all right?" and watch what it does. Ask, "Want to go outside?" and see the reaction. The answers will come as subtle shifts in their posture, a change in their energy, or even as an image or feeling that pops into your own mind. Learn to trust that first impression. But this silent communication goes far beyond simple requests. Case revealed that dogs often try to send us crucial information about our health, our relationships, and our spiritual path. Health warnings. Dogs can often sense illness long before physical symptoms manifest. If your dog begins obsessively sniffing or licking one area of your body, take it seriously. It could be an alert about a potential health problem developing there. Warnings about people. When your dog displays an instant and unshakable dislike for someone, it is reading that person's energetic signature. It is perceiving information about their intentions that you are missing. Trust its assessment. Pre-cognition of events. Dogs can sense the energetic buildup that precedes major life events. If your dog begins acting erratically for no apparent reason, it may be sensing a significant change on the horizon. The most profound revelation Edgar Cayce made about our canine companions concerns their role as spiritual healers. The dogs are conduits of divine healing energy. Cayce stated, they can absorb emotional trauma, dissolve energetic blockages, and literally balance the emotional bodies of their humans. This is one of their most holy duties. If you have ever been through a crisis and felt your dog's presence brought you a deep sense of peace you couldn't explain, you have experienced this healing power firsthand. It wasn't just companionship, it was an active transmission of healing energy through the channel of your love. Dogs have a natural gift that most of us have lost. They can absorb negative energy without being permanently harmed by it. They act like conscious, energetic filters, drawing in emotional pollution and transmuting it back into light. Let's break down how this healing takes place. Absorption of emotional trauma. When you are experiencing profound pain, grief, heartbreak, fear, your dog instantly detects this dissonance in your energy field. It will move close to you, and through physical touch or just its presence, it will begin to absorb the dense energy of that trauma. Have you noticed how your dog glues itself to your side when you are upset? How it wants to cuddle or just be near? It's not just offering comfort. It is literally siphoning the energetic pain out of your system. Energetic transmutation. After absorbing this negative energy, dogs process it through their own chakras. Case explained they have an innate ability to transform dense, heavy energy back into pure light. They are spiritual alchemists, turning our emotional lead into spiritual gold. The return of healed energy. Once they have processed the dense energy, dogs send purified, balanced energy back to their humans. This occurs through their affection, their physical presence, and even their loving gaze. This is why you feel lighter and calmer after spending time with your dog. You have received a literal energy transfusion. This isn't a beautiful metaphor. It is a tangible energetic exchange that can be felt and verified. So many people report that after a period of intense struggle, they began to heal, and their dog's unwavering presence was the cornerstone of their recovery. Case identified several types of specialized healing that dogs provide. Healing for anxiety. Dogs are natural anxiety busters because their entire being radiates presence in the here and now. They don't ruminate on the past or worry about the future. Their steady energy has a natural calming effect on our nervous systems. Healing for depression. The vital, life-affirming energy of a dog is a powerful antidote to the density of depression. They radiate pure joy, unconditional love, and an enthusiasm for life that slowly breaks apart the emotional armor of sadness. Healing for trauma. Dogs are masters at healing trauma because they provide absolute emotional safety. They offer no judgment, no criticism, and no abandonment. This unconditional acceptance creates a safe space where old wounds can finally surface and be healed. Healing for loneliness. The profound, unwavering bond we share with a dog heals the deep wounds of isolation and abandonment. They prove to us that we are worthy of absolute love and that we are never truly alone. This healing is most potent during sleep. Case revealed that when we sleep with or near our dogs, a profound energetic synchronization happens. Our auric fields merge, and healing occurs on the deepest, most subtle levels of our being. During sleep, the skeptical conscious mind is out of the way. Case explained. That is when the soul's most important healing work can be done. A dog sleeping near its human is actively working to heal the wounds of their soul. This is why many of us have an almost primal need to sleep near our dogs. It is not just about comfort. It is a subconscious recognition of our need for their healing energy. But the healing isn't only emotional. Dogs can also facilitate physical healing. Healing through vibration. While we often think of purring with cats, dogs generate similar healing frequencies through their steady breathing, their heartbeat, and even the subtle rumbles they make when relaxed. These vibrations can stimulate cellular repair. Healing through heat. The warmth from a dog's body is not merely physical, it is energetic. When a dog rests on a sore part of its owner's body, it is transferring a healing heat that can reduce inflammation and speed recovery. Healing through pressure. Dogs often intuitively know where to apply pressure to stimulate our body's own energy points and meridians. When they lay on us or press against us, they are often performing a type of canine acupressure. Case even discovered that different breeds have different healing gifts. Large breeds often specialize in healing deep, seated trauma and issues of security. Small breeds can be excellent for healing anxiety and self-esteem. Calm dogs are ideal for healing stress and burnout. High energy, playful dogs are perfect for healing depression and a lack of motivation. The most incredible part of all is that dogs do this work consciously. They are aware of their healing role and choose to take on our pain to help us. A simple way to help them is to ensure they have a way to discharge the dense energy they absorb. regular energy baths, in nature, joyful play, and immense affection are how we can repay the profound healing service they offer us every single day. When you understand that your dog is a spiritual healer, your love and gratitude for them expand 1,000-fold. They are not just pets, they are four-legged angels whose entire existence is dedicated to our healing and our spiritual evolution. And this healing is only the first step of the transformation they are here to bring into our lives.